I do say blessed love to the royal family. Salam to give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, exit there. Daniel Amna Gibson Agas, Kadamawe Haile Selassie I. I'm definitely joyful and of course happy to welcome you into the Tiger's Nest. The Honorable Priest Isaac here on a very wonderful evening. And I have a wonderful presentation for you. Something that I thought I would like to share with the international community. It was on the 7th day of February 2018, according to the Gregorian calendar, sometime about 4 in the afternoon, when I received the news that the Honorable Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, that is Mr. Gaston Browne, he made the statement in the parliament that each individual, an adult, will be allowed to have on their person at any one time without being prosecuted up to 15 grams of cannabis sativa. And every household, what you may want to call a yard space, would be allowed at least 4 trees. And he also made an apology to the Rastafari community within Antigua and Barbuda as it relates to the whole aspect of the persecution and of course the atrocities that has been meted out on this group known as Rastafari. But recently, the Prime Minister, that is again the Honorable Gaston Browne, made another statement. And what I'm going to do for you right now, I'm going to present to you that statement, a short statement that he made relating to the very same subject as we're talking about the cannabis sativa. So please give this a listen, and afterwards we will obviously comment on it.
Hi, this is Gaston Browne, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. The prohibition of cannabis less than 100 years ago was prompted not by altruistic motives or concern for the health or well-being of users, but to serve the racist, political and economic interests of the global powers at that time. In the Caribbean, the Rastafari Community has championed the many uses of cannabis and have asserted that the herb is utilized as a sacrament in their rituals, in their celebrations and worship. The prohibition and demonization have led to Rastafari being brutalized and castigated by police and other government authorities because of their utilization of the plant cannabis sativa. It is in this context, and now that my government has liberalized the legislation regarding cannabis and is moving towards the medicinal and other uses of this natural substance, that I have issued a genuine apology to the Rastafarian community and have asserted that Rastafari sacramental or spiritual use be acknowledged, and that Rastafari be given a stake in the production and benefits to be derived from the medicinal and other uses going forward. Let us regard this as reparations for Rastafari for the wrongs inflicted on this significant minority group in our countries through the so-called war on drugs, which evidently was prompted by pernicious prohibition. Bless up.
Bless up. So again, that was the voice of that's the Honorable Gaston Browne, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, and you heard it in his own words. And obviously we would, before we complete this segment here, we will replay that for you. So the Prime Minister, as I said, and his government and his cabinet, and all those who thought it was an upful move, decided again to give every adult the opportunity, obviously, if they want to have up to 15 grams of cannabis sativa on their person, in their space, and at least 4 trees you would be allowed to plant in your home environment, your yard. Basically, even what you heard a moment ago was somewhat outside of the realms of just that. It went a bit deeper, I should say. I would like to give thanks, definitely, and I personally would like to show appreciation to the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda at this specific time. Again, that's the Honorable Gaston Browne. Specifically for these words that you just listened to a moment ago, as we will look into what was said, and I would give a better understanding of why there is appreciation from my heart for the words that were uttered. I think it's important for us to, first of all, look at the situation at hand. Now, I'm dealing specifically with the speech. Afterwards, I will deal with the whole aspect of the 15 gram and the 4 trees and what it means to our community in general. I mean the region, because you've got to keep in mind, outside of Jamaica, there's no other nation in this region that has made such a step. And even internationally, amongst us, the darker people of the world, the Black people, governing Black nation, this sort of step has not been made. In the Caribbean, basically, again, it is only Jamaica that has done something even similar. But what I see outstanding here, again, yes, Jamaica may have, I think it's 2 ounces and 6 trees, all well and good. But in my case, whether it's 15 grams or 2 ounces, I think we all comprehend as Rastafari. We go beyond 6 and 4 trees. And that is somewhat the message I was also getting from the Prime Minister as he spoke. Now, first of all, he highlighted Rastafari. That is point number 1. He highlighted Rastafari as a movement. And he also showed that these people were the keepers of the sacred knowledge of this special plant. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing his words, but I think his expression and exactly what he meant to say is exactly what I am saying. Because according to his words, and I'm just taking his words, get me good, he clearly explained that the Rastafari over the years have been persecuted, again ostracized, and I would add murdered. They were killed for the whole concept, not just of their culture and liberty, but even just the plant. And with that comprehension, again, the Prime Minister goes on to say that with his cabinet or his government now, passing the whole legislation for a specific amount of cannabis to be used by specific ones and trees in a specific space. And now they're looking deeper into the whole aspect of the medical marijuana field. According to him, may not be the exact words, but as I said, we will replay this so you could hear the exact words. He actually believes that it is only moral and just that for the stripes that they have to show, the Rastafari must be given a stake. They should have a place at the table as it relates to this whole aspect of the cannabis sativa. He even went as far as to refer to the Rastafari as an important minority group if I'm not mistaken, that was the specific term he used in our society. If it's not important, the term he used, but whatever the term is, we will replay it again. So I was just, just running over quickly what he said, because I want my audience to gather this good. And now we're going to go through it basically one more time, but I may stop and pause in between because I really want this to be clear. If thanks.
Hi, this is Gaston Browne, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. The prohibition of cannabis less than 100 years ago was prompted not by altruistic motives or concern for the health or well-being of users, but to serve the racist political and economic interests of the global powers at that time.
And obviously, any one of us that understand history knows that the brother is quite on point there. I found it interesting that he took the whole argument, not that he's arguing with anyone, but he took the whole conversation. He began it from that level. The reason why this plant has been outlawed, most people don't speak about that at all. I'm speaking of world leaders. Well, most people in general don't speak about that. And clearly outlining that the reason why this plant came off of the quote-unquote legal seeds had a lot to do with capitalizing over the other nations, and of course, well, by those who capitalized. And racism, which really is defined as white supremacy, obviously was a key part of the whole aspect of criminalizing this sacred plant. Because I'm sure we all know about the cars that Henry Ford built, and of course the canvas on the ship that was sailed by Columbus. In fact, all the ships of that time, they would have for their sail canvas, wherein canvas was made from the cannabis. That is where the term comes from. I think we all comprehend this. It has a lot to do with oil. It has a lot to do with the cannabis being such a useful and industrial raw material. It has a lot to do with monopolizing on the industry and cutting you away from the industry so you could be a third world, quote unquote, country forever. So it is all about capitalizing, and it's all about the board game monopoly. But it's real money that they're dealing with, and you would really go to jail. That's the concept of the white supremacists. So taking the ganja off of the world stage in the 1930s, very interesting time, was definitely an economic move. And again, I will, of course, bring out the fact that we will be beginning a series of programs directly dealing with economics in a few days on Radio Anu, specifically the Mystic Vibration. Let us continue to listen to what the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda is saying here.
In the Caribbean, the Rastafari Community has championed the many uses of cannabis and have asserted that the herb is utilized as a sacrament in their rituals.
No. So after highlighting, definitely in a nutshell, you got to keep up with this speech. A minute and 40 seconds, you got to replay it to get it good. So after highlighting the reason for this plant, again, taken off of the world stage, he now brings into the picture the Rastafari, who over the years have utilized this plant, not in one or two ways, but in several ways, in many ways. In fact, this knowledge of the use of the cannabis and how it can be used for medicine and even for you can industrialize the hemp. It is Rastafari that really began to blow that trumpet. So I'm just saying to the listeners now, the whole comprehension of, again, Rastafari is the keeper of that sacred plant. So we held the plant and we guarded the plant with our life. So they came and they beat us for the plant. They murder us for the plant. They arrest us for that plant. Nobody else in the world would touch the plant. Even now, some of them are still kind of as if they're not too sure that it's really safe to come out. And Rastafari, when you say marijuana, at least 10 years ago, you say marijuana, you're talking about Rastafari. Nowadays, you say marijuana, you put the word medical in front of it and not one Rasta in the room. So the brother here is highlighting that the Rastafari have been the keepers of the sacred ark. Let's continue.
Their celebrations and worship. The prohibition and demonization have led to Rastafari being brutalized and castigated by police and other government authorities because of their utilization of the plant cannabis sativa. It is in this context, and now that my government has liberalized the legislation regarding cannabis and is moving towards the medicinal and other uses of this natural substance, that I have issued a genuine apology to the Rastafarian community and have asserted that Rastafari sacramental or spiritual use be acknowledged, and Rastafari be given a stake in the production and benefits to be derived from the medicinal and other uses going forward.
Now, okay. So now he's speaking, he's going more into the whole aspect of the brutalisation, again, that was meted out upon the Rastafari. And over the years, because, you know, a lot of us were not aware of it. I did a program, YouTube program, just for Good Friday, for the Good Friday period, dealing with the Coral Gardens massacre in Jamaica, 1963. But for those who listened or watched that episode that I did on my YouTube channel, Priest Isaac's YouTube channel, if you haven't watched it, you should visit it. It's the resurrection of Rastafari. It speaks of the real brutality that came upon that uprising group who made itself known in the early 1930s, 1940s, in the 50s. They were seriously brutalized in Jamaica. That's where they were, by the Jamaican government, from Bustamante, and you can come up the line. But the brutality did not stop there. You know, we could speak about the Caribbean, down the Caribbean chain, the so-called smaller islands, as some of them refer to them as. You know, in Dominica, the elders in Dominica, Elder Trotter and Elder Wah, they will tell you the story. The school buses would pull up to the bottom of the mountains. This is Dominica now with the high mountains. They would pull up to the bottom of the mountains, and the seats would have been taken out prior to the bus coming to the bottom of the mountain. And then you would see the officers going up the mountains, shotguns in hand. And you would hear the shot from maybe the other mountain, you know, a few miles away. Prap, 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 Then it gets quiet for a while. The sun is setting. And then down the hill or the mountain comes the officers again. And they have families with them now. They have mothers, they have fathers, little babies, teenagers, young children, you know, aunties, uncles, everybody dead. Nobody alive. And they just take them and they throw them in the bus and they drive away. I'm not talking about the days of slavery. I'm talking about in the 70s. When I was wearing diapers, it was happening. Overdrive. Even right here in Antigua, elders like King Aikija, who the police took the cement block and dropped it in his chest, broke the ribs. This is in the early 70s. Aikija only passed on just a couple, and I mean a couple, years ago. And he lived with that pain, not emotionally, I'm talking physically. And yet still, I'm sure, emotionally too. But Aikija, Elder Aikija, is a strong warrior, not was, is a strong warrior. Everybody that know Aikija know what I'm talking about. So Rastafari have suffered. Not just for the marijuana, for the locks. The same families that were shot and killed, murdered by the police officers. They kicked the clay pot off of the wood fire with the ital food. And now today, you have people all over Europe selling clay pot. It's better to cook in clay pot. It adds the minerals to your food. It's better to cook on the wood fire. Is that so? Well, it is so if you know your stuff. If you stop eating the stove, the gas stove food for, let's just say a year, give it 2 years, and just cook on the wood fire, and then go back and eat from the gas stove food. No matter what you cook, you're going to taste the gas. Now you may say, chops and suck your teeth, but I'm not asking you. I'm not interested in your opinion. Nobody tell me what I just explained to you, man. You got that from the priest's mouth. No horse here. You understand? I'm telling you what I know for myself, personally. Living in the hills, cooking on wood fire and clay pot for years. I never forget the very first day that I cook on a stove fire. And I cook in ital, of course. I taste the petroleum gas. So you can't tell me nothing about that. I don't care what you say about that. Because I know many people, I don't believe that. This is not religion I'm talking about. What you believe, that's not the subject. I'm telling you what I know. So I'm saying all of that to say that these things are now, the in thing today. Even the locks. You could hardly go into a church with your hair plait as a man, even a woman, as if when you reach a certain age, you got a permit to perm it. Now the preacher has locks. Preacher have earring, knows everything. The preacher. Look how times have changed. We were brutalized for the locks. We were brutalized for all these things that are now on the table. What about reparation? Where did that conversation come from? So again, it is not just the idea of utilizing what Rasta brought forth, because that's what Rastafari is about, you know. That's why we say it's a lifestyle. It's not a religion. Some of you ain't gonna like it, but it exists without a Bible, you know, man. Hey, it's a lifestyle. So that's why the lifestyle has been taken by different set of people for their benefits. As I said earlier, now the conversation is medical marijuana and no Rasta in the room. We're gonna make money off of this. No dreadlocks nowhere around. And in certain situations, you don't even have black people in the building. But we died for it. We died for it. You're Rastafari, no? You didn't die for it. And this is why, for example, when they freed up the 15 grams, that was not a victory for Rastafari. No way. Rastafari got the victory for the, I don't want to insult no one, but I'm just going to use the term so you understand, for the ordinary folk. Yeah. The ordinary folk that would come home from work every single day and go and buy this 10 dime bag of stuff and go home. He don't want to buy two, he buy one and he go home and he smoke it off and come back in the middle of the night and before he go to work and all of that. Because he don't want too much on him, he just want enough so he can smoke it off. We won the victory for these people. Because when we call for the march and Rastafari come out and march and protest and make ourselves known, the so-called ordinary people, they hardly come out. I'm not dissing them, I'm just telling you the truth. Now they all benefit. They all have their 4 trees in their yards. Yeah. Well, how is that benefit me? I mean, I always had 4 trees, for sure. No, that's nothing I ever hide. I never hid that from nobody. I never forgot the very first time I was working on ZDK radio station 21 years ago. I wasn't working for them. I was working on the station. And I was playing the song for Pete Tosh. Legalize it. Someone came in and said, hey, you can't play that. That's how far we coming from. We coming from a time when you could hardly play anything on the radio about ganja. Man goes, I can't play that. I said, I can't play that. I paid them for this time, you know. You can't tell me what to play. Man, I just take off the record and put on the next record. Michael Rose, a stalk of Sensei Mania, growing in my backyard. And I wasn't lying. You see, you may not understand it unless you comprehend the time I'm talking about. You playing around? You couldn't even wear clothes with no ganja leaf on it. You're playing around? So although I was not there in the 60s, 50s, and the 70s, well, I was there in the 70s, the late 70s, but I mean, as I said, I was in diapers, I was learning to creep, but you know what I'm talking about. But when I came into this faith, there was still a certain level of pressure. That's why I'm so thankful for the elders that have gone before us. You gotta be thankful for these elders, Rasta, and show appreciation for them. And those of us that are coming after them, we haven't nearly done enough. We haven't nearly done enough for our elders. Enough respect to a man like Ras Flacco in Jamaica. We have not nearly done enough for our elders. And Sister Kesta Selassie, I know she's residing in Ethiopia now, the sister that did all those Jahab books. I mean, people that take care of the elders amongst us in Rastafari. So I'm just saying now to the Prime Minister, because that's what I'm talking about. He also went on to say that he had issued a genuine apology. That's his word. I can't deny that's his word. I gotta take him for his word. His genuine apology. That's serious stuff. And anybody that know me know that I do not play politics. So this has to be something that moved me. Go along, you're looking at the brother's face. This has to have been something that moved me. He issued, according to his words, a genuine apology to the Rastafari. We have apology as a big thing.
Well, the first thing they need to do is to apologize for slavery. See how important that apology is? If I'm not mistaken, John Paul II, Tony Blair, and Bill Clinton showed some sort of apparent remorse for slavery at one time or the other. These three individuals, many people say they fell short of an outright apology. So I'm just showing you the importance of an apology. So when a prime minister of a little 108 square miles land plus 68 square miles for the other island and a few other spotted rocks around it says that he is sorry, he didn't do nothing. He is sorry. He didn't do a thing. He wasn't the prime minister at the time. In fact, when Rastafari was getting that strong brutality, I know from the elders themselves that this brother, Gaston Browne, used to sympathize with Rasta. I'm not asking you. He's from Point. He's a ghetto youth. He's from the ghetto, you know, man. He almost lost his life as a child. He was electrocuted, not to death, by a live wire. And one of the first Rastas in this island, a Ras by the name of Kenya, is who used his wisdom and got him free from the wire. Kenya is a welder. He's a welder. He's an arc welder. He's a gas welder. He is a machinist. Kenya can make a gun, Rasta. That's Kenya, Elder Kenya. He can make a gun. So when this prime minister was a young child on the football field, he was electrocuted, not till death. I know usually when you say electrocuted, it means the person dies in some people's thought frame, but he was shocked there. Yeah, he was being shocked. But he didn't die. I think the brother got a plank and pried him away or something. And he wrapped his hand in some rubber tube from a tire, if I'm not mistaken of the story. But I think the prime minister still has the scars to show it, you know? And other elders would tell me of certain stories that I've heard, and he was in the midst of it, and he clearly said, boy, I respect how you Rasses move from a young age, you know? Now, as I said, you know, I mean, the brother has gone through the ranks of the politicians to reach where he is. And you know how it is. So there's more to tell, but I'm talking about this. And all I'm saying is this. For the brother to say he has issued a heartfelt and genuine apology, give thanks. My brother, Prime Minister Gaston Browne, I'm saying, give thanks for that specific initiative there. So now, he goes on to say that it is on this account, you know, on this whole premise of the Rastafari and what they've meant to us, and you know, keeping the whole aspect of the marijuana alive. We've kept Black history alive. Man, without us, you think anybody would talk about even Marcus Garvey? Don't tell me now. Marcus Garvey went to the United States of America, and even in America, the Black community don't fully respect Marcus Garvey. I know a lot of you don't like to hear me say that, but man, trust me, you know how I feel about that. You know how I feel about that. But I don't want to go too far into that, but you know how I feel about that. You can't be equating Marcus Garvey to some of these people that you want to put over Marcus Garvey. Trust me, when they were followers of Marcus Garvey, I mean, let us get real. you know. So I'm just showing you, we as Rastafari put Marcus Garvey in his right Godful position. You know that. Who else praising Garvey as God? Think good. And at the same time, when you comprehend the whole science again, we have kept all of these sacred aspects of life down to your eating, the herbal medicine, you know, again, the locks for our nation and our people. And now it is being utilized. Most people don't say, oh, thank you, Rastafari. Boy, you get enough blood for us. Thank you very much. Wow. So now me, the granny, I have locks. Boy, when my grandson in there lock me, kick you out the house, you know, they say, me don't have a locks in here. And me have lock now. Boy, thanks. The locks so nice, boy. Me even have a, yeah. Say thanks, man. Say thanks. The Prime Minister said thanks. So according to him, Rastafari should get a steak at the table, or a place at the table. Well, you know, we don't want no steak, especially at the table. We don't eat no steak. But we understand what he's saying. But what I'm saying is this. That's good for what he's saying. But what are we saying now as Rastafari? I'm not talking about black people. I ain't talking about no black community and no African nothing. I'm talking about Rastafari. And I'm being specific, especially to those in Antigua and Barbuda. But Rastafari in general, on a whole, you can take hold to this message here. Let's just say that brother was to say, yeah, we're going to free up the marijuana, we're going to medical marijuana, we're bringing in everybody to do what we have to do. And the Rastaman, we don't care nothing about the Rastaman. We have no, he could say that. That's basically what anybody else would say. He could have said that. Some people are saying, he's saying what he's saying, but that's what he's going to do. Well, this is why I'm putting this out as well. I'm being very straight, because we got to hold him to his word. I ain't looking no friend. I'm not looking no friend. I am not looking no friend. You know that. I'm a tiger. I'm a solitary cat. Elusive. And I'm not a politician, so I'm not looking no votes. I just speak my heart without care of what anybody else has to say. Yeah, straight up. So when the brother says that Rastafari deserves a steak here, again, to me, that's just a noble gesture. That's extremely noble. Why? I just told you we were brutalized for having locks. Locks. Look at all these saloons now that people can walk into and get their locks. How come we have not capitalized on that industry? You may say again, what? Rasta, we in a big up barber shop and saloon, you know. Well, number one, I didn't say nothing about a barber shop. And to me, a saloon is where you go and get drunk. But come on, man. The locks that people put in their head today where they twist the root, you know, I don't believe in them kind of locks. And that's very, I mean, they will break off eventually. When we were locksing, we just dull our hair. It's called dull here in the Caribbean. And that's the difference with the islands than in them colder countries, England and the United States of America and Canada, especially in the inner, you know, and you're not too close to lakes and rivers and whatever. We can go and we dull our hair with the cactus, and it brings your hair to what I think they call it freedom locks or something today. So we didn't have no saloon locks. I'm just showing you though. I mean, what are you talking about? Your locks needs to be maintained. Your locks needs to be groomed properly. Yeah. Your locks cleansed and well kept. So we should have capitalized on that. And just for the lack of a better term, we should have had range of chain of saloons internationally. Rastafari come and locks up saloons. Samson's Delight, some kind of thing like that. So you could come in and get locked. Not locked up, but get your hair locked. You know? It wouldn't be done like how they do it and that little twist up thing. This ain't too much of a fashion thing. This is not a fashion. If you want the fashion stuff, you can go to the saloon. But we should have had that. What are you talking about? We died for that, so why we not in control of it and everybody locks in? What foolishness you're telling me? I watching a documentary the other night, they're highlighting a vegan burger. A patty made with peas, stuffed between two bread. And the vegan burger now, listen to me good enough. The vegan burger, according to them in the documentary, this is a $1 billion industry. I say, oh, $1 billion industry. Who invent that? As I like to say now, it's 21 years since I've been walking this faith. And when I came in this faith, those that came in before me, they were selling these, what looked like hamburgers, but they would take the peas and boil it and mix it with the wheat flour and fry it in the coconut oil and put it between two wheat bread. Now, I mean, we don't eat bread and them things today. Well, I'm talking about myself. Not unless I make it, and I'm not going to make it with wheat. You understand? So even the vegan $1 billion burger, I'm sure it's organic, you know, organic and all of that stuff. You know, these organic people, they don't eat nothing with gluten, and so it's organic, you know, yeah. I'm sure. But what I'm saying is, there goes our goods again. Even reggae music, these singers, you think, I mean, even if they make a little change, who's really cashing in the dough? It's Mr. Ching and Mr. Read the back of the CD, man. Oh yeah, we don't buy CDs no more. We just download them or steal them from somewhere else. But if you get a chance to see a CD, look at the back and you see who's the executive producer. As I said, reparation, all of these stuff. We should have a chain of vegan restaurants. We got, man, what's wrong with you, man? We were murdered. Some of us were kicked out of the house. Our parents told us, no two-pot cooking in here. And them same parents, the Almighty bless them, had to come and eat out of our pot at the end of the day. Nothing wrong. I have no problem with that. Wow, Sunny Day, what you cooking careful, Granny? I don't want, you can't look over the pot with your locks hanging over, Granny. Nothing wrong. And we love Granny. But all the grannies need to show appreciation. That's my opinion. When I say grannies, not the grannies, you know. I mean, the society in general. You're not looking for nobody to overdo it, but you should put it in your culture, naturally in your culture, what the Rastafari, the lifesavers has done. Yeah, that's what the story of the pipe is about, you know. We take away the rats, and you don't want to pay us. Better be careful. You better be careful. And that's our problem. We're not thinking as Rastafari, we're not thinking business-like. We're not thinking economic. The same Prime Minister here, one of his main mottos, or his motto or whatever, well, not a motto, but he speaks a lot about the economic powerhouse to make the nation of Antigua and Barbuda the economic powerhouse of the Caribbean. That's a good phrase. That is why we as Rastafari always say we should be an economic powerhouse. So that is why I was saying earlier, even if he was saying, well, Rasta, we don't want them to have nothing to do with this. We're supposed to be so strong as a group, as a unit, that nobody can do nothing unless they come to us. Yeah. And you can't be powerful unless you're economically sound. That is why even here in Antigua, I call the Rastafari community together. You know? They know that. Just a little over a year ago, call them together and put forth a plan. Hundreds of us was at the meeting that we should submit $1 a week under a well-structured plan, not no, flimsy vibes, well-structured plan of how the collection of the $1 a week will be, exactly where it will be stored, the committee that will be formed, and the businesses that we would build in a year's time with that $1 a week, which would have amounted to something like, hundreds of thousands of dollars, in no time. I don't want to put the whole world into our local business, but we just waste a lot of time and we talk too much. We talk too much. We talk a lot, man. I just don't rate the talking stuff. We ain't serious. We just jokey. I'm talking from my heart. We jokey. I hardly know a serious person in the man. I telling you. You chat a lot, I don't care where you feel, man. We talk too much, man, all over the world. Just chat. When it's time to get serious, we're not ready for this battle. We're not ready. We are not ready. An earthquake hit Antigua 2 days ago, or it was yesterday, 2 days ago. Everybody running out the house. And this little 108 square miles that we live. But anyway, my point is, I'm thankful that the brother himself could understand. As he said, we should gain from the benefits, but are we really serious? Are we ready for the benefits? Are we as a group, as a government, strong enough with an understanding of unity to get these benefits? Because by right, we don't need Gaston Browne, the Honorable Prime Minister, to give us no benefits. We are supposed to be strong enough to be reaping our own benefits long time. That's my point. Waste too much time. Look at all these ships that come in our harbor every day. 4 or 5 cruise ships. You mean we can't own a cruise ship? And that's small thinking, because that's not how I think, That's not how I think. I mean, that may be big thinking to somebody. Of course, there have been times when I said, man, I go own one of them one day. And people look at me like, wow, you go own a cruise ship? You don't see how big that be? No, you could tell what kind of thinking that is. That's why I tell you, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around, If the people you're spending time around is not of a higher level, trust me, you need to find some people, some more people, some different people to spend some time around. Because when I say, boy, I go own a cruise ship, you're supposed to say, just one? Yeah. We should be manufacturing cruise ships. We should have factories. I ain't talking about black people. Rasta, I ain't talking to them, man. We should be making these things in Africa and shipping them out to the world. And manufacturing luxury jets. What do you call them? Private jets. Luxury private jets. Yes. What's wrong with that? Now I'm just saying all of that to test you. I know some of you like, boy, thinking too big. Imagine that. We are some real, wow, what do you mean I'm thinking too big? What do you mean I'm thinking too big? That's why we don't reach nowhere. You just want a car. Well, I'm looking to buy a car. How much you're willing to spend? About $5,000. Oh, I can give you one now. Okay, give me about a month and let me get the money together. See, you don't even have the money. So why you said $5,000? Why you don't want a $100,000 car? Well, I can't afford that. You can afford 5? Yeah, I can get that. Well, give it to me now. Let me give it a car. I don't have it yet, but you don't got the 100,000 either. So I go for the 5, go for the 100,000. You give yourself a whole month. But we think so small. We're small-minded. I ain't telling you to go wrap nobody in. But it's just the thought is the thought I'm thinking about. We do not think like people that want to advance economically as a unit, not no one-man thing, you know. You could be a billionaire, you know. We ain't talking about one-man thing. We talking about Kwame Nkrumah thing. You say no one-man thing. None of us are free unless every African is free. Kwame Nkrumah. Yes, the Emperor said it as well. I know some of you jumped in there a while ago. Yeah. So I'm saying all of that because it's teacher teaching, giving thanks again for that understanding from the leader of this country here, that the Rastafari deserve a stake. A Rastafari, I really talking to y'all, you know, get serious, man. I know some of you right here in Antigua are talking. Some of you may be saying, you can chat. Well, one thing, you can't say nothing about me. That's why I know. Nobody can say nothing about I. For sure. People talk, you know. People even say I talk. Oh, you talk too much, what you doing? You have the nerve to say that? Let us continue.
Let us regard this as reparations for Rastafari.
Okay, hold on. Now, that is the point that I definitely would not agree with. I know some of you like, wow. I mean, I ain't fighting the brother. As I said, I'm very appreciative. Although the good brother said he has apologized from his heart, and we should get a stake to, you know what I mean, get the benefits, whatever it may be, going forward. All that is real good. But for what Rastafari has gone through, I don't mean in the Caribbean, I mean just here in Antigua alone. Again, what was said, of course, obviously, we would need to be patient for the future to see how everything plays out, to see exactly what are these benefits that Rastafari will get. You know, we'll have to wait to see exactly how big is this stake that is being handed to us. But as I've said, we don't have to wait really. We don't have to wait on nobody. We don't even have to wait on the good brother there. He himself has highlighted that we should respect Rastafari as it relates to them having the tree of life as a sacrament. Imagine that. I mean, come on, man. I ain't comparing and contrasting, but oh my, not even St. Vincent has made a move like this. And I'm telling you, the Caribbean is humbled by this decision and these words that the Prime Minister of this nation is spitting out. But I will say again, knowing what we've gone through, Honorable Prime Minister, in all due respect, I would agree that, yes, if that's what you meant, because the words, you have to sometimes decipher words and get the proper definition. As you said, if I'm not mistaken your exact words, this can be considered reparation. Maybe it was to be said, this can be considered a part of reparation or the beginning stages or whatever, you know. And again, that is not a very noble gesture, you know, and definitely a serious breath of fresh air. But understanding the hell that we have gone through, believe me, with no disrespect to your policy, I personally could not count that and that alone. I would be disrespecting those that have gone before me as reparation. Lock the door. No way. I'm sorry. No way. But outside of that, as I said, I think the whole gesture is extremely noble. And let us conclude.
Wrongs inflicted on this significant minority group in our countries.
Oh, I like that. He referred to us as the significant. It's not important. Significant. I thought it was important. Minority group. Minority just means, I guess, the numbers. It's not a word that, not one of my favorite words I'm going to run with, but the significant minority group in the country. Okay.
For the so-called war on drugs, which evidently was prompted by pernicious prohibition. Bless up.
The so-called war on drugs. So he obviously makes it clear that all of that was just a game. Nixon and Ronald Reagan and all of that. Everything was just a game. And I'm telling you, on a spiritual note too, it's very interesting that at the coming of Rastafari, coronated in 1930, the King of Kings, that the marijuana went out of style. So Rastafari never enjoyed or full enjoyed the use of the marijuana in the sense under a legal framework. I mean, we are full joyed it, we still full joyed it, man. How you think I talking to you here? But I'm just showing you under that legal framework, it was, never so. So again, we are very thankful for such words. And, right now in Antigua and Barbuda, you can hear the squirrels, them coming out of their, not squirrels, the rabbits coming out of their little holes. Some of the meerkats, what lives in these burrows, the moles, whatever, no disrespect. But all the little animals are peeping out now. Some of them peeping out. You hear them call on the radio station. Some of them straight off telling you, boy, I'm going to start to plant some trees. And they're not joking, they're serious. This is what I'm saying. A lot of people hide. Politicians hide. Politicians. Preachers. There are preachers that smoking marijuana. Politicians smoking marijuana. Doctors smoking marijuana. I'm not asking nobody no question. I'm telling you. And it ain't no crime they committed, so you can't run up on me and say, boy, you said this, so you got to prove it. And you got to prove it. What we're talking about. Yeah. Nurses. Yeah. Police. I know that it's okay, quote unquote. Some of them still kind of keeping quiet because of shame. The point I'm making is the Rastafari that has stood up for you all throughout the decades. It is you, Peter Tosh 2 says so no. Shall Rasta be the cross and all the heathen go free? Come on, man. It is you we have stood up for. That is why I do not play around with this thing here as it relates to Rastafari in general, as it relates to the whole aspect of this movement and the seriousness that we need to take this on. You see what I'm saying? As a people. So that is why, again, when we did the interview with Brother Sela, I'm sure you heard us speak about, the whole aspect of our international government. We can't play around, man. King Emmanuel say he's the king of the races. He's the king of the masses. And even to a Bobo Shanti. I mean, we can yap and talk all day, man. Listen, I ain't got no time to play around. And I'm not one of them that believe you can hold a shotgun to somebody's head and force them to believe what you believe. I despise people trying to do that. I despise people trying to do that. Yeah? And some of us, we forcing some of the rest to come under our banner. Man, I sit and hear King Emmanuel talk. King Emmanuel don't play around, King Emmanuel do not run. King Emmanuel sit and tell you that he not going under no other banner, He dealing with his business, the EABIC, and whatever it deal with. And if it's not him you coming with, it's just up to you. Now, some of you ain't gonna like that. That is your business again. You understand? And it's my opinion to say I mean, King Emmanuel have the right to say what he wants. You check it. Even you know, if you feel whatever you into is the right thing, and you not leaving what you into and going under nobody thing, you have the right. In fact, you would be respected more when you stick to your guns. You check it. You'll be respected more. I am not going under nobody banner, but I'll work with you. And that's our problem. We're trying to force the next man to be us. What kind of foolishness is that? That's what Christianity did to us. That's what Islam did to us. They came with a gun and sword and forced us to be them. And we're going to do the same thing. If we had the weaponry, we would done do that long time to one another. No. Especially amongst Rastafari. Rastafari is one. It is you, Cecil. In my father's house is many mansions. I personally don't believe the way that most people have that, like the different groups, the Bobo Shanti and the Nyabingi and the 12 tribes are the different houses and mansions. That's how we're talking now. The different houses and mansions. We're just talking. I don't think the prophecy of the different, in my father's house and many mansions, that ain't it. In fact, you have to think, how many, a mansion is bigger than a house, but yet still in the house, there are many mansions. You check it. So I'm not going into the depths of that now, but I'm just saying, not because I don't think that's the prophecy, the many mansions business. No, I don't think that's the prophecy, but that don't take away from how I feel about Rastafari. It is a oneness. And even if you are a 12 tribe, please be a 12 tribe. Be a 12 tribe. Oh my, don't come and try be no bubble and try be nothing else. Don't come because they coming by me, you go wrap up your head and feel. You go, just be who you be. I don't like fake people. Be who you are, because I ain't going to change to come by you. Just be who you are. And if you're frying anything in the kitchen I don't like, I can't come in the kitchen. I am who I am. I ain't going to sit down and pretend like if I don't. No, I am going to be who I am. I ain't no hypocrite. I'm going to be who I am. So if you're not a bingy man, just be who you be. If you're Bobo Shanti, be who you be. If the person cannot accept you for who you are, that's the business. That's our problem. Stop trying to force somebody to be you. And we are the first, we need to go back to the original. How you would turn people back to the original? Look at me. Look at me. You're a bingy man. You're trying to tell me, oh, we were all one in the old days. Prince Emmanuel was with us. So if we're going to work this, brother, y'all just have to come back to this. That make any sense? Me, you feel you can convince me? Who is you? I would like to see the person. Priest Kidemi Shalom Isaac, would like to see with my eyes the human being that walk on this planet here that can speak to me. It could be for a week without stopping and convince me to drop this. He don't exist. They have never been born. You understand? You'd have to kill me. That's what I'm trying to show you. So, don't try to, and I know there are people that think like that, so don't try to change nobody. We're wasting time with that. Just teach the truth if you're teaching the truth. I teach the truth. When you see me teach, you don't see me calling other people, and I'm not arguing with no Hebrew Israelite. I'm not arguing with nobody else. No, I just teach it. And I say what it is, and who get it, who do whatever they want to do with it, that's up to them. When I come together now with those who have already established themselves as Rastafari, I ain't calling you to go tell you, you have to keep the Sabbath. You know that. You know how I think. Why are you bringing that up for now? That's not what I call you for. I call you for us to unite. I call you for us to start to pull our economic resources together, our nickels, dimes, and dollars, our dollars, man. Come on, don't you work? I'm sure you work. You work. So don't be looking for nothing in return. Don't be looking for nothing in return. $1 million can do great things for 1 million people. You can take $1 million and invest that $1 million in whether it's a school, a hospital, some infrastructure, and that one structure, establishment, whatever it is, benefits the 1 million people. But if you take the $1 million and give the 1 million people each $1, they can't do nothing with no $1. You could hardly jump on a bus with $1. But if the same 1 million people go in their pocket and take out $1 just one time and put it one place, we could take the $1 million and do something with that $1 million that would benefit all of us. The same 1 million people. $1, one single dollar. Much more if we were putting that dollar in that organized system, $1 every week. Every week. Then you're talking business there. With a real, council of leadership. But you see, we're going to talk again, boy. The thing is, man, you can't trust, man. Somebody else this and somebody this and somebody. We're going to say that forever and ever. We're going to say that forever and ever. Anyway, there's another video I want to do. I was planning to do it tonight, and I didn't want to do it coupled with this. But the conversation is almost leading me into that other video that I wanted to do. And the other video I wanted to do basically was a message to the especially younger ones who are seeking, consciousness as such, especially coming on the internet. I really want to give you a special word because it's a jungle out there, it seems like. And I want you to get a special word from me, and I think I'm going to do that this evening. So I'm going to seal this one up for now. I'm just saying again, as Rastafari, you can be what you are. And I know, as Bobo Shanti, as King Emmanuel teach us, we're willing to work with anyone of right. It's written in the book, The Black Supremacy and the Pamphlet, we're willing to work with. But don't come and try to turn me into you. I'm not trying to turn you into me. When you agree with Prince Emmanuel on that, Prince Emmanuel say he's the Black Christ. Check it. So he will humble and deal with you now. But as far as he see, is he got the answer. You can't vex with the man if a man feel he have the answer. He feel he have the answer. All the things I talk, you don't think I feel it's the truth. So if you come and say something totally opposite to what I say, obviously I gotta feel that, well, you got it wrong. Not that I'm disrespecting you, but I just believe I have the truth. You can't be upset with a man for that. But we got to learn to work together. We're wasting time, man. Some of us, we have children in this world. You're gonna leave your children in the same foolishness that you were in. Some of us, you can't even leave a piece of land or a house, and it's not land and house business we leaving in. And then leaving, that's another thing, we ain't leaving. We are establishing enterprises for our children. Mercy. You're supposed to bring children into a world that is well set. Real government, real school. We party too much. We party too much. Yeah. And most Rastafari, I'm being very clear here, we boogie down too much. As I said earlier, we don't even own no reggae business. So reggae on your mind, reggae on your mind. How much revenue you're making off of reggae? I'm telling you, we too into the boogie woogie. We are serious enough. I cannot you don't know how much that touches me, how we just wasting time as a people, man. We don't even think about no Africa no more, the whole Africa thing. Then Africa. Yeah. I don't be going to no Africa and tell me no, don't be sending me no message talking about you need to come home business. What do you mean I need to come home? I mean, wait, you see how the thing get personal now? You see how the thing get personal? So I gonna go to Africa and tell anybody you need to come home? You see how the thing get personal? I don't know why people do what they do. But that because you see me on YouTube, even if YouTube never existed, I'll be doing this, I was doing this before YouTube, I didn't just find something to do, man. So my mission is for the liberation of my people. I'm thinking about building ships and playing for the million to come home. But most of us, we so selfish. We reach, I'm saying, hey, when you come in, y'all stayed in the West too long. You're not, Is so the thing go? Huh? Moses could have just fly over the Red Sea he alone, You don't know. God had the power with him. But he decided to split it so everybody can come through. That's why all the great leaders, up to Marcus Garvey, even King Emmanuel uttered these words, they're not leaving the people in the West. They're not leaving the people in the West. You run gone, I ain't got a problem. Good to go. You're supposed to go. But you're supposed to go as part of the team and say, I've reached my brothers and sisters. Okay, this is what we're doing to make sure we can get us over. Not setting up a place so when you come and leave us on the battlefield business. This is what I'm saying. We're so fragmented. Those of us here in the West. You have to have some sort of appreciation for your brother that sacrifice and reach in Africa, man. And some of them suffering too. Some of us here forget them there too. I talking about Rastafari. Not just in Shashamane, all over Ethiopia. We forget them. We forget them too. We forget them as well. Let me check it. Bless up priest Kevin and priest Gabriel and such ones in Addis Ababa, in Melkoda, Ethiopia. So my brothers and sisters, man, we got to do it, eh? And it's not just talk. I didn't really put a specific plan on the table. I was just making suggestions. We do that a lot. We come and say, oh, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, we're not doing this, oh, we need to, but then we don't put a blueprint down. I will admit, I didn't really put a blueprint down. It was more really, some sort of a counseling, to be honest. But I've already dropped blueprints in other episodes right here on my YouTube channel. That same dollar a day, I explained it in depth already on a video that we did. I can't remember the title of it, but you can go on my YouTube channel. You see, it has something to do with Dr. Claude Anderson, so I expressed some sentiments from the good doc first, and then I went into my discussion really. But that's a blueprint that I put down, and to this day, it is only one person, one single person that has, two. Only two people have ever contacted me specifically dealing with that dollar a day program, wherein, again, it is not something I was championing. And I made that clear. It is not something that I was championing. No, it is something I was putting out. It was a blueprint, but I was putting it out to the international community, not of Rasta, but of Black people to look into, to show how this model could even work in your little community that has, 2,000 people, your little village. Like here in Antigua, we have villages, and our villages are still intact. The people know each other, especially in the countryside. I mean, 200, 300, 500 people can come together and put $1 a day, a week. And at the end of 6 months, end of a year, You can fix Miss Mary house for her. Everybody know Miss Mary need a little help. The sidewalk that you're waiting on the public works to come and fix, we can fix it ourselves and show them up. The news will come and say, the people of Old Road Village have fixed their own sidewalk. They started an initiative less than 7 months ago where such and such have been sending $1 a day to the post office, and it has been collected by Sister Mary Claire. Sister Mary Claire, how is it going? Wow, I couldn't believe that we raised so much money and we fixed the gutters and we this and that. We can do that. Wow. But Halloween and Christmas and Easter have us so confused. And this is why I continue to do what I do. So give thanks again to the Prime Minister of this land, Antigua and Barbuda, for what we already just gone through there. And Rastafari, let's step up, man. And of course, you know, radioanu.com, the international flavor, the universal spice. I'm definitely inviting you to subscribe. Well, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not subscribed, but definitely subscribe to, well, the YouTube channel again if you have not subscribed, because you want to know when we upload fresh videos. And I don't want to go live and you don't know I'm live. So make sure you subscribe. You've never been live. Well, we're stepping up the game, man. I don't want to go live. Don't test me now. I do not want to go live and you don't know I'm live. Check it. Well, I'm always live because I'm not dead. So, as I said, subscribe to the channel, but also subscribe to the Mystic Vibration, which is a program that we do on Radio Anu every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at the hour of 6 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time, Radio Anu. That's radioanu.com. You see it here. And of course, it will also be in the link in the description. The link in the description below, radioanu.com. And of course, as I said, you could definitely subscribe and get your Mystic Vibration literally mailed to you, sent directly in your inbox or your email each and every day after the Mystic Vibration program itself, you know. So for more information on that, you could definitely call me or WhatsApp me, area code 1268-728-3162, or you could email me at priestisaac27@gmail.com. And when you email me, all you have to say is, Honorable Priest Isaac, I would like to subscribe for the monthly Mystic Vibration to be sent in my inbox by email every day after the Mystic Vibration. And so said, so done. So give thanks again, my brothers and sisters. Give thanks for your love. Give thanks for your presence with us. Of course, the tree of life, the tree of renown. In the Revelation, there's a scripture that says, in the last day, you will not be able to touch or harm any green thing. And I mystically have that associated with the marijuana, because I mean, here we have, it's a green thing, isn't it? Give thanks. Yes, my brothers and sisters, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of the Bible will become a mystery. King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Listen.